Hello, Terry here, and we are back with the Forsaken Place. Uh, I already said in my other video, but I think I should say it too in this video that I've been busy writing my paper and my presentation, working on both of those. So I haven't been able to play this game again, but now I'm able to. So yeah, let's just continue from where we left. Oh yeah. Searching pile of rubble to the right after we search on the left and there's nothing. Okay, let's go meet Asmodeus, shall we? I decide that bothering Asmodeus is certainly the correct thing to do. I don't really care if he gets annoyed by my presence, okay? Still want to learn anything I can from him before he gets banished, even if that's just a few tales from his childhood. Hey, finding anything useful? Asmodeus has a stone in his hand, one he probably just moved from the top of the pile. No, but don't you think it's best if you search on the other side? We can cover more ground that way. I think it'd be most effective if we work together. Forgive me for not believing that. I mean, we did get one part of the dagger. I could have acquired it all on my own. Your human mind slowed us down quite a bit. Maybe that's the case, but you choose not to give me the answer. Anyhow, I quite like spending time with you. Oh. What? Oh, look at his expression, like shock. Yeah, it's like an adventure in one of those tales you heard here at the tavern. We are on an exciting journey. Yes, walking up some stairs is truly exciting. I mean, why not? It's some exercise. It beats being a magic teacher. Ah, you mean to tell me that you are allowed to teach magic? You hardly seems qualified. Hey, don't be like that to Titania. Even though this whole journey, this 4 episodes have shown that, yeah, she is hardly qualified, seems. But who am I to judge one qualification? I know the spells the academy wants me to teach like the back of my hand. Fire, ice, thunder, sometimes wind spells. All basic quality of life things, nothing ever fun. So you would rather teach something more dangerous like black magic. I don't much like teaching at all. If we are being honest here, I would rather learn.
Very much like her.
Ah, very much like her. If you mean Ingrid, it will bring me great joy to be like her. She is a legend in not only my family but across the land. You realize that I am the one of the demons that she fights against, yes. Yes, but we are demonkind not forging war against humanity. You have to take some kind of responsibility for— Oh, no, you stepped on a button. For what? He snaps, baring his teeth as he snarls at me. For something I certainly didn't do. You haven't learned by now that human history is a compilation of lies. Oh, whew. Yeah, apparently she didn't learn that. Then tell me the truth of what happened since you know so much. No, I'm not convinced it would get through your thick skull. Okay, he turned his back to me and no amount of prodding yet seemed to pay me even a little attention. So I decided to check an untouched pile of rubble a few feet away from the man. After a few moments, Asmodeus and I meet back by the treasure chest where the dagger hold was found. Well, did you find anything of value? No, exactly no. I shake my head firmly. Have you? Something curious, yes. The rubble is simply that, a pile of stones and rocks. And? I don't imagine what we need is them. Okay, we have to piece something together. Not quite literally, but a spell, perhaps. That's a little vague. You don't have some old family anecdote or story to inspire you? Do you? His glare is intense, so I place my hands up in front of me. Sorry, didn't mean it like that. We need more information. You don't say. The mind of a Corvus is quite brilliant. For someone who hates my family, you do talk about us a whole lot. Wow, I have the great demon prince speechless. Wow! Seeing his growing agitation with my teasing, I stop. So how did you get that name? Are you like royalty or something? Yes and no. I was born to a very powerful man known as the Demon King, but my kind doesn't view royalty as you humans do. Royalty is earned, not given. I'm called the Prince of Demons or the Demon Prince by my peers. It sounds like a high honor. Your people must have a lot of respect for you. At one point, yes, I was the person they looked for the guidance. He stopped himself with a simple shake of his head. I don't suppose I'll get more out of him, but this was a nice glimpse into his life, albeit a small one. Anyhow, let's keep searching, maybe we have missed something. Do you think the barrier is strong on all sides? Maybe we can break through, or there's an opening somewhere. Are you implying we must simply look for an exit? There isn't anything but rubble. You confirm this yourself, so how can we piece together a puzzle that isn't there? Interesting, let us try it your way. We have only times to lose. Asmodeus makes his way back to the rubble and begins to move all of the big pieces out of the way. I, on the other hand, decide to see if my hunch is correct. Perhaps there's a way to walk out of the ruins. Okay, so what now? There's no way to walk out of the ruins. Every time I try to step out of bounds, I'm bumped backward a few inches. Whatever we are looking for is in this enclosed space. No luck, indeed. I cry out exaggeratingly and plop myself down into a pile of rubble. Asmodeus shakes his head at me. I'll admit I'm a bit stumped too. Why can't we just conjure an exit or something? We need to have an end goal in mind. Yeah, outside of the barrier. Doesn't work like that. So what? We just move rubble all day until we find something? What else do you have in mind? Magic, duh. I begin to conjure up a wind tunnel using both of my knowledge of elemental magic from my own studies and a little bit of in-grid noise. Don't know what you are just doing something like this to move the stuff. The magic I've conjured isn't nearly big or strong enough to move all the rubble, but I bet it is easier than moving everything piece by piece. When I unleash it, the wind hits only a few piles of rubble as I had anticipated, but they do topple over. Here, let me do it. Okay then. Ooh, that's even bigger sound. Asmodeus rolls his eyes and does a spell similar to mine, but it's much bigger and sends the remaining rubble lying against the barrier where they bounce off and settle a few inches away. All we have done is make a mess. Nah, let's look around now. For a third time. Amazing.
Third time's a charm.
Yeah, third time charm. Or maybe a fourth time. Or maybe a fifth time. We don't know how long we will be trapped in here. It doesn't take more than a few steps forward to see a hole in the middle of the ground where a rather large pile of rubble used to be. Okay, third time's a charm in it, apparently. You know, there's a human story for this moment. I whirl around to face him, but Asmodeus has already taken his place by my side. He peers into the hole but doesn't say a word. When I was a young girl in school, my teacher would always tell us not to be like Olaria the Foolish. She was an old woman who had never left her home. She was fearful of the world and the demons who inhabited it. I considered leaving that part out, but I don't think Asmodeus would really expect anything more than a narrative that berates demonkind. One day, her young neighbor came to warn her about an incoming earthquake he had heard about in town. Of course, it was only a rumor, but he thought it best to let the old woman know just in case. But Olaria simply kept her door locked and went back to what she was doing. Didn't even give the boy a chance to speak. So when the earthquake actually did end up happening, she became trapped inside her house. Oh, poor Olaria. Seems as if that be her dream. She was content being in her home already. What? No, it gets worse. When people came to rescue the survivor, she was too fearful to leave her home. She didn't even acknowledge that the earthquake happened. She ended up dying in her home a few days later with no food or water. Oh. That could have been us trapped here because you were too pompous to take a few steps forward. Hardly the same scale.
Asmodeus.
Whatever, Asmodeus. Looks like our way out is down that hole, so you should jump down and search for us. You know, make up for the small blunders from before. I found a hole. What do you mean? It was my magic that blew everything away. It was my idea. Move out of my way. Simply say you are scared. He mutters the last part under his breath. I'm not scared. It's just smarter to let you go first. The demon with the big wing. Yes, very smart. Oh, that's true. Wait. But as he said this, Asmodeus jumped down into the hole. It's not small by any means, but it's dark. So dark. Use a fire spell to light up the place. Okay, I'm not one of your students. I know what I'm doing. He complains a bit, but does indeed light a small flame.
Are you coming? You know we can't be apart for long.
Okay. Yes, right. I take a deep breath before climbing down the hole next to the grumpy demon prince. Oh, we're in the hole. Do you mind not being so close to me, human? How? I mean, this is a hole. There's no other place. So using my name was a one-time thing, huh? He disregards my words completely. Move. I can't. We are in this small cave thing and your wing. His wing leaves little breathing room between the two of us. Oh, I'm sorry. Are you complaining after you made me go down here first?
Hey!
Oh, listen. That's neither here nor there. Let's just make do with our situation right now. I'm relying on you to be my eyes. We find ourselves in a tight spot, quite literally. Asmodeus and I are in a small tunnel underground. It's dark, save for the glimmer of light I get from the flame that Asmodeus has ignited in his hand. I can light my own flame back here, sorry. He lets out a grunt and inches forward slightly. Do not touch my wing, and I'll make sure you exit in this cavern in one piece. Ah, so that's what he was worried about, his wing. Never really put much thought into it, but it is quite curious that he only has a singular black wing. I recall the stories told to children in order to frighten them into behaving. Demons with skin as red as fire, towering 6 feet tall, with long talons, menacing wings that could envelop you, and teeth sharper than daggers. But Asmodeus doesn't match this description at all. I guess I didn't realize how easy it is to forget that the man is a big, spooky demon when he opens his mouth and he speaks so candidly to me. His eyes, though a vibrant red, oh nice, doesn't read any malice. There's a perpetual look of onion on his face, but I don't believe that breeds any ill will. Okay. Don't you think I'll pluck one of the feathers off and sell it off to a witch? Oh no, don't say that. Don't. Where do you think his other wings go? I can't help but tease him, especially now that I know he can turn around and snap at me. How about I pluck your hair from your head and trade it for something more valuable in the underworld? I wouldn't mind if you could get something awesome for it. What could you trade human hair for? Are you being serious with me right now? Asmodeus doesn't stop inching forward and I follow close behind him. Though the moment seems excruciatingly slow, I can complain. This is the only opening we've found, and I'm confident the next part of the dagger is somewhere at the end of this tunnel. Yes, why not? What's a lock of my hair in the grander scheme of things? What do you think demons would do with a lock of human hair? I don't know. Keep it as a memento. What? Oh, cloning spell. That's interesting. Conjuring to a cloning spell? Asmodeus coughs. For what purpose? I don't know, to use me as a soldier or maybe just trap humans in the underworld to get revenge on them. Your human stories are so far-fetched. Were you not the one who used a conjuring spell on me? We don't do that sort of things to humans. A silence befall the two of us, though I hear what Asmodeus is saying. It's hard to believe a demon would want my hair for anything savory. Two of us continue walking, rather inching slowly forward. So your wing? This again. Only wanted to ask if all demons have wings or are you special? We don't all have wings. No. My brothers and I do. The ones you saw on the stained glass windows in the cathedral? Oh, that's your brother. Oh, okay, that's not your brother. We are special, you could say, but not for the reasons you humans depict us as. Imagine me, the demon of lust. I've heard nothing more humorous in my lifetime than that. Yeah, for once I think I agree with you. Looking back on the stained glass window in the cathedral, I can help but laugh at the idea as well. Whoever came up with that stereotype obviously never met Asmodeus. Those depictions have been around for as long as I can remember, even as I walk this very earth. Oh my gosh, really? Did people come up to you by looking for a good time or something because of the stories they heard? Yes, it was tiresome. Oh.
No, I don't mean it like that. Please do not tease me, Ingrid.
Oh, okay, that's a new. Okay, you didn't mean it like that. Ingrid. There's a familiarity in his word, almost an intimacy. It's enough to take my breath away. Asmodeus stopped walking, causing me to bump slightly into him. He doesn't turn around, probably because he can in this tiny space. You and my ancestor, you guys know each other outside of the demon war, didn't you? Yeah, obviously. That was a slip of tongue, drop it.
Asmodeus.
Nah, there's a feeling behind that. Said drop it. The words are like venom dripping from his lips. I'm sorry. I see a light ahead, let's move forward. All the progress I had thought we were making have suddenly crumbled right in front of me. For once, Asmodeus was speaking openly to me about his culture, and then... what happened exactly? He has mentioned earlier that I remind him of Ingrid, but I was under the impression that they were enemies on two sides of war. No, I'm not sure about that. If Ingrid is an enemy, then why do in Ingrid books there is a spell to conjure Asmodeus? Explain. The rest of our journey out of the tunnel is awkward and completely silent, but eventually we do find a way out into a clearing. Asmodeus is the first one to leave the tunnel, and I stumble out after him. Oh, I thought we will end up in a disaster under the tunnel, but apparently not. Nice. As I do so, I catch a glimpse of his back in the sunlight. A large scar where his other wing would have been is indented into his skin. Getting a closer look at it, I notice the burn marks, and I can't help but wonder how violently the thing was ripped from him. But at this point I know he won't tell a single thing. Not about his wing, his tattoo, or anything else. Especially nothing about Ingrid. It makes me sad because... I was enjoying getting to know him. I shake it off and try to talk to him. Awkward small talk is a human specialty. That's a human specialty? Okay. I feel like so much time has passed, but it's still bright and early. It's the magic of the forest, I assume. I wouldn't doubt if time runs differently in here than it does outside of the arcane forest. It works out in our favor. Imagine solving these riddles at night. He shoots a glare in my direction, a motion I'm more than used to by now. Weren't you the one who wanted to keep traveling through the night? Did you hear that? I think it's a bird. Oh, that's a bird. Ooh. I rush forward, ignoring the man's word. I know he's right. The next chest is right here. I cry out when I catch a sight of a small brown wooden treasure. That was fast, just a few feet away from the entrance of the tunnel. But before I can do anything, Asmodeus is by my side and has used a spell to open it. Oh, what do we get? Let's see. Ah, the sheath. Why do we need a sheath? Why would we even need the sheath of the dagger? Oh, okay, you asked that. To cover it. But we are going to be using the blade. We don't need to cover it, do we? I imagine that once I'm banished, you'll get to keep the blade. In which case you'll need the sheath for it. I get to keep the blade? That thought never occurred to me. I always assumed that it would either disappear or go back to the arcane forest after I banish Asmodeus. Oh. Let's keep moving. It doesn't look like our last trial is here. We still need the blade. Right. The two of us walk together, stopping only when we come face to face with the most harrowing task of our journey yet. Ooh. Oh, that looks dangerous. No way. I gulp, looking at the massive ledge in front of us. There's got to be another way around. Do you see one? I don't know. Perhaps you can fly us. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for saying that. He takes a step backward and extends his arm, as if beckoning for me to look around the area. But having done it several times by now, I already come up with the same conclusion. There's no other way forward but across this chasm. No, but that ledge is so small. And
What about
you?
you?
Oh yeah. What about you? Your wing? Will it be possible for you to squeeze up against the wall as we walk across? It will be a bit uncomfortable, but I shall manage.
Thank you.
Thank you. I didn't say anything because I didn't want to ruin the moment, so I simply nodded at him and offered the best smile I can muster. We are wasting time by just standing here. Shall we go? Yes, Are you frightened of heights? Be great to Tanya of House Corvus herself. Yes, don't tease me. Oh, okay. Isn't that what he said to me in the tunnel? Asmodeus takes a step back and places his arm over his chest. He waves my word away and points to the ledge. You go first. Why can't you go first? I could, but if you stumble or fall, I can turn around quick enough to grab you. The wing. He twists slightly to aim his shoulder at me. I might even knock you off by accident. Oh. Right, because if I die, our bone is broken and you remain here. Right. He nods his head. So please, after you. He doesn't bow down or call me his liege like he usually does. I try to shake that off though, and anxiously take a step on the ledge. Yeah, just trust him. I trust Asmodeus, he won't let me fall. I'm confident in that. I close my eyes tightly and take a deep breath. My back pressed against the side of the mountain, though the tips of my feet hang off the ledge slightly. I can do this. You certainly can, yes. What? I heard shuffling. It's safe to assume that Asmodeus has joined me up on the ledge of doom. He lets out a grunt, and then I feel Asmodeus graze my arm with his. My eyes flutter open to see a blush on the man's cheek as he tries to position himself in a way that he's not so close to me. My wing. Is everything okay? Yes, let's hurry this up. His words are direct, but his voice is strangled. If Asmodeus had two wings, he'd be able to play without any extra precautions. I don't mention that to him, but I'm sure he already knows. Instead, I turn my attention back to the ledge. I take in a deep breath. When there's no music at all. I have to do this for Asmodeus. If anything, he must be very uncomfortable up here. Yes, that thug alone keeps me pushing forward. Inch by inch, I slid my feet across the rocky ledge. My arms never leave the wall that I'm pressed against. I don't look back to check on Asmodeus. I can hear him breathing, and that's indication enough that he's doing alright. 1 step, 2 steps, 3 steps, and I lost count after that. Though I'm sure I'm almost there, I have to be. This isn't one of those loops again, is it? Far as I can tell, it's just a normal ledge. I can see over you, though, so I haven't a clue if we are close or not. I think so. I don't know, perhaps this is another puzzle you have jumped on. But that sounds bad. Take a leap of faith. Yeah, that sounds bad. Let's not do that. I'll lean forward slightly to peek over the edge and see a piece of land. Oh, we are almost there. So, yeah, the solution was not to jump down. Okay. Oh my, if we did jump down there, it could end bad. I see our salve. I turn to Asmodeus excitedly without realizing it and lose my footing. One foot hangs off the ledge as I try to reach for something, anything to grab onto. Oh no. But it's no use, there's not even a single rock poking out that I can latch onto.
Foolish girl.
Okay. Asmodeus grabbed hold of my arm as I fumbled to regain my balance. I'm grateful for his quick reaction time. That was a close one. So reckless.
Nothing like Ingrid, right?
I bet she able to cross this ledge without even a second thought. I turned my head to finish the line, both to focus on not making another mistake but also to avoid the demon possible rage as I mentioned that the woman from his past. Exactly like Ingrid in that scene at least. Huh? She was fearful of the unknown just as you are. Ingrid was very good at hiding it, that's the difference between you two. Ingrid could be feeling scared but tell her comrades she was fine and they believe her. I somehow doubt you'll be able to pull that off. When you're angry, it's written plainly on your face. When you're sad, I can see the frown quite clearly. And scared, you announce it yourself. Almost as if you're an open book. But an unwritten book can still have a bad ending. He mutters the last part under his breath, but we are close enough that I can make it out. I don't know what to make of this admission. Is he frightened by not knowing what's to come? In that sense, we are similar, except he seems to keep that fear close to him. Too close. I wonder if he ever let anyone in before. With an icy attitude like his, I doubt it. I'll leave his word hanging in the air for the winds to carry away. It's not my place to call him out on something he doesn't wish to speak about. So, knowing more about Ingrid brings me comfort. It's strange wanting to have a connection with someone I've never met. From reading her notes, I feel as if we are kindred spirits. Both wanting to learn so much more than what we are allowed to. Both of us wanting to reach bigger heights than we are supposed to. Both of us wanting to shatter the expectation placed onto us by others. Oh. I often wander around helplessly, seeing the mage in my hometown and even in my own house, perfectly content staying within the confines placed upon them by old traditions. I do not wish to be caged any longer, I want to be set free. I believe Ingrid did as well. How do you reach this epiphany so suddenly? Though I wonder if Asmodeus will ever trust me enough to believe that. He thinks I'm some human girl hungry for power. Well, that's literally the choice that I make the first time in the game. It's a bitter thought that stings the more I let it ruminate in my mind. Now that we are almost at the end of our journey, I feel an overwhelming sadness wash over me. Asmodeus and I, though so close to each other on this ledge, will most likely never see eye to eye and understand each other. The worlds of humans and demons must not be meant to meet ever again. Asmodeus seems content with that, but I'm not sure that I am. We are so close. Indeed we are. Close to death. You're almost full. I push my thugs away and try to pick up my pace slightly. We are so close to solid land that I can almost taste it. Okay. Oh. Yeah, safety. Well, what? Yeah, I cannot see that. What is that? That's a small house. Shrine. I cry out once both feet touch solid ground again. I do a little spin, tossing my arms into the air. I hear Asmodeus chuckling, and when I look at him, he's actually smiling. He must be happy that we are so close to the end. The last piece. It's still a ways away, I'm sure. Do you see a chest anywhere? I haven't even taken a look at my surroundings. I've just been so happy to survive. Taking a quick look around, my eyes only catch onto one thing, a large podium sitting in the middle of the forest but no treasure chest. There seems to be something inscribed onto the podium. Let me see that. Asmodeus walks up to the stone podium and tries the word with his fingertip. Once he's satisfied with what he's read, he turns to me. It's a summoning spell. I imagine whatever we summon will lead us to the blade of our dagger. Okay, summoning. And I try. I walk by his side and read the spell under my breath. By all means, go ahead. Arce nigrum? Nothing, not so much as a flicker of light. Maybe I need to focus on trying to imbue more energy into the spell. I try again, this time shutting my eyes tightly and focusing on the words I'm speaking. Poco arce nigrum? Still nothing. I let out a frustrated sigh. Black magic is tough. Incredibly so. What does the incantation mean anyway? I call the Black Castle. You're summoning an entrance to an actual castle. Oh, a magical castle. Someone of your skill and power level wouldn't be able to do it. So then, it's you then. I squeezed the bridge of my nose. Why not tell me from the beginning? I'm getting tired of the whole mocking thing. I get it. House Colorfus, yada yada yada. I haven't said that in a while, have I? Asmodeus hangs back by a nearby tree, lazily leaning into it. Now that I think about it, Asmodeus hasn't taunted me in some time, huh? It's much more fruitful if you learn for yourself what you can and can do. If I give you all the answers all the time, how will you learn? He shakes his head, those long black locks of his slapping into the sides of his cheeks. Telling Ingrid all she needed to know didn't get me very far. If you want to learn from me, show some effort. More effort than her, at least, okay? What? Ingrid wanted all the answer and I gave them to her. Look what that did for her in the end. A journal full of notes that haven't been able to help you do anything but summon me, and that spell won't work on another demon. Why not? I wrote that spell for her. It's elementary enough that she'd be able to actually summon me, but if she had to do it with her own power, she wouldn't have been able to do it. Okay? Wait. Then how do Titania able to summon you? All Ingrid could do were the spells she memorized. It doesn't surprise me that after her crusade, she couldn't spread her knowledge around to other humans in order to teach them. Black magic can be grasped by just anyone. You need a good teacher. As Asmodeus finished his speech, I'm dumbfounded. I don't know what to do or say. Speechless are you? Of course you are.
You have done nothing but make
Okay.
assumptions this entire journey.
Okay.
Ingrid, your paragon, was nothing more than a human reciting some memorized lines.
Okay.
Her power certainly wasn't unmatched. She was a fool.
She was a fool. Okay then. She'd not have lasted a minute in this forest. Oh, okay. Titania did. There's a disgust written plainly across his face. Talking about Ingrid and her ability seems to be the worst taste of all to Asmodeus. Pat yourself on the back, for at least you made it farther than she would have. Therefore, that makes you superior, but only by a slight margin. So no more speaking to me about her amazing power or pursuit of knowledge, for everything you know to be true is a lie. Hearing Asmodeus' words, I'm torn. Part of me feels honored that he put me above Ingrid, though not exceedingly so. He does seem a bit impressed by my magical abilities. Though the other part of me is full of sorrow, I'm starting to believe Asmodeus when he tells me that Ingrid was a fraud. What other lies have I been told? I have too many questions that my partner doesn't seem to want to answer. Asmodeus kicks off the tree with enough force that it rattles and stray leaves fall from it. Okay, Foco Arsen Nigrum. He shouts the spell into the air and it's loud enough that I need to cover my ears. There are no special elemental spells, homes, or even blood that has to be drawn. Asmodeus is able to conjure a door with just his voice. The door, now standing upright directly in front of Asmodeus, is a regal red. It has marking I can understand scrawled across the front in sloppy gold paint. That was incredible. Hurry along, I'm itching to get this over with. I have no desire to be here any longer. Okay, are we reaching the end? And just like that, the Asmodeus I've come to know on this journey is back. He leaves no room for argument and opens the door. When he steps inside, I have no choice but to follow in after. Okay then. Oh. Interesting. The dark room that we enter is cold. That's the thing I noticed first. The air is stale, almost bitter, and I scrunch my nose up. The smell reminds me of the family fault mustard dam. Okay then. You're shivering. It's cold. Am I? I hike my arms around my body, making sure to pull my cape tightly around myself. Oh, nice. That's really nice. Asmodeus snaps his finger and the room illuminates. Wow, fancy fire spell. While I'm teasing him, I am impressed. To light up all of the candelabras in here, I have to light fireballs in my hand and then launch them in the direction of each individual candle. All Asmodeus had to do was snap. Had to do. You saw me summon a door to this place, and that's what you say. Oh, did I skip something? Okay, I did. The corner of his lip twitched up into a smile. With the light of the flames behind Asmodeus, I noticed how truly handsome he... You just noticed. I've always thought he was good looking in comparison to the depiction of himself that I've seen, but... I think he is just easy on the eyes, especially when he's smiling. Though I think my favorite look for him is with his eyes closed, lazily lean against something with a look of peaceful calm on his face. It's the exact opposite of what I always thought he would be. Demon of Lust. I'll never get over that. Asmodeus seems to want nothing to do with pleasure, he's all business all the time. Why do you look at me like that? Oh. I turn away from him, hoping he doesn't notice the heat I feel rising to my cheeks. He cuffed me, staring. How embarrassing. This is where we find the blade, right? Or is there another trial? The blade is here. How do you know? Asmodeus doesn't answer my question, instead he walks forward to the throne that's at the front of the room. I take the opportunity to scan my surrounding. This is the place called the Black Castle. Well, it's certainly a throne room we are standing in. The throne itself looks ornate, though a bit subdued in color either from the old age or poor lighting. There are statues on both sides of the throne, looking like the depictions of demons that I've seen in my history books. Oh, that's kinda strange. But I wonder if that's what they really are, or something else entirely. There's a red carpet in the center of the room that Asmodeus treads down. Each footstep's louder than the next, the clacking of his shoes against the marble. Oh, he wears shoes! Okay. We cannot see his feet, so I just realized it. Against the marble floor, the only sound in the room. Finally, Asmodeus takes a seat on the throne. His eyes are shut, back pressed against the chair, arms sitting atop the rest. The image of him is picturesque, certainly something I think is worthy of a stained glass window. The perfect representation of the demon prince. I'm afraid to even move, lest I disturb him.
This feels good.
Oh.
I'm finally back where I belong.
Well, that's surprising. Back where he belongs? Oh, Yeah, I did not. So what's the Dagger of Banishment for? Even your human stories speak of the Black Castle. Did they? Oh my god. He looks at me with a bitter smile and beckons for me to step forward. Oh, something doesn't seem right about all of this. You think? The man sitting in this throne, he can't be the Asmodeus that I came to know, can he? The smile on his face is sinister enough to make me question it.
Come to me.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that. I decide to take... No. Okay. No, the demon, yeah. Seeing his teeth bared like this, the difference between the two of us are quite obvious. The air around us is thicker, the room feels like it collapsed into us, yet I can stop my feet from pulling myself towards the man as he has ordered. Okay, but if you kill me, it will be immortal, right? I don't stop until we are face to face, me doing the towering this time as I stand in front of his throne. What do you mean when you say this was where you belong? I heard you right, didn't I? You did, yes. Oh, sorry, I skipped something. This is my kingdom. I am the prince of the Black Castle. Welcome, human. This is where you lived when you were in this world all those years ago? It would explain why it looks abandoned. There was no one here to take care of it for centuries. For a part of my time, yes, but I left to find companionship amongst the humans. Unlike them, I thought they were precious little things full of awe and wonder. They look at everything as if they were seeing it for the first time. Okay? His smile, though still there, has morphed into something more melancholic. His opinion on humans has long since changed. Asmodeus doesn't look at me with such fondness. But humans are like ale. You spend all your time cultivating the flavors to make it perfect. Uh-huh. That's a weird way to describe it. And in the end, it just go bad anyway. If I had just enjoyed the ale while it was fresh. Yeah, what do you mean? He placed his hand under his chin. Perhaps it wouldn't have ruined the taste of all ale for me. The thought of trying it again is revolting. But even so, ale is good for one thing and only one thing only. Distorting your sense, making you feel as if everything is okay, making you forget your inhibitions. Disgusting and vile. Asmodeus is clutching the armrest on his throne so tightly his knuckles are turning white. His words cause my stomach to twist into knots. Disgusting and vile? That is what I am to him? Oh, you're crying. I knew he had no affinity for humans. He told me this from the very beginning, and yet I had held on to hope for something more. A little flicker of light in his eyes when he saw me solve something on my own. A bit of hesitation when saying his hateful comments about all humans. A sliver of doubt as he considered me. I'm over no such formality. I'm no different to Ingrid in his eyes, even as his proclamation of it being so moments before we entered his castle. I, Titania of House Corvus, am another human. I was foolish to think Asmodeus as anything different than what he is. A demon. You cry when you hear truth. How funny. He leans forward, taking my face into his palm. His words have made me aware of the dampness on my cheeks. Yes, I am indeed crying. Showing my human emotion, another mistake. Really, it's not a mistake.
What? No
Nope.
words
Okay.
now? Oh, great Titania of House Corvus. What a joke.
Yeah. You showed me the same thing Ingrid and all the humans did. I am the big bad powerful demon and you'll do exactly as I say. You don't see me as an equal but rather as someone intimidating. It's true, isn't it? You do what I tell you because I'm supposed to be the all-powerful and all-knowing ethereal creature. You don't have to say it. I see it in your eyes. You are so very, very obedient. I suppose I shall thank you for that because of your summoning ritual. I am here in my rightful place once again. You know, this was the final destination all along. It dawns on me that I was played for a fool. I gave Asmodeus exactly what he wanted. I'm not sure what being back here means, but I hand delivered it to him on a platter. What misfortune that entails for me and the other human is unknown. Did you want to be summoned from the beginning? The Dagger of Banishment was all a ploy. No, I mean everything I said up until this point. I did not want to come back up to here to a world that has treated my people so poorly. There is a sadness in his dark eyes, but also unmistakable anger. My disposal and I thought you humans magic. It's because of me that you can use those elemental spells at all. But Ingrid wanted more and more and more from me. The wonder and awe never left her eyes, so long as I keep giving her the knowledge she seeked. I was okay with that because Ingrid made me feel something demons are not supposed to feel. Compassion, love, despair. Foolish human emotion that simply gets in the way of things. Ingrid took everything I had until there was no more to give, and then she had enough of me and my despisal. She waged war on demonkind with the power we gave her. How does your legends end? What did Ingrid the Great do? It takes a moment for me to gather my voice, but I tell him openly and honestly what I know. Ingrid fought the Demon King and won, so as such you were all banished to the underworld. We were not banished. She would have no power to do that to one of us, let alone an army. The demon left your world because we couldn't stand to inhabit the same place as someone who would do such things so vile with one's kindness. But even as Ingrid raised her blade to me, I tried to convince her what she was doing was wrong. I had loved her. I told her I wouldn't fight her. And with that vulnerability, she took the opening and slashed my wings right off. The great House Corvus cheered her cheered her on even as I fought to remain peaceful, until I could no longer stand back and let my people die by the hands of a human. You killed her, didn't you? It's the only truth that would make sense. No, I couldn't do it. I fled, but before I made my descent to the underworld with the rest of my people, I left a note for Ingrid, a summoning spell in case she changed her mind. But she never did, eh? But with centuries passing by, I realized that Ingrid could no longer be alive, and I was content to never see her again. I saw the damage she had caused and know it to be my fault. I wish to never be put in that predicament again.
And I won't.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Titania.
Oh, that's new. He released my face, his hand falling limply to his side. Neither of us made any movements. I don't know what rests in his heart even after his speech, but in mine is torment and regret. He had suffered an immense injustice by my ancestor, Ingrid Corvus, but his led that manifests into a hatred of all human, a hatred that I don't know he can return from. For a few moments I saw something new, the same sparkle I had come to love in Ingrid's eyes, the excitement when you had learned something new, even the defeat when you couldn't grasp something. Even I saw some new things, a fairy personality that had fought back when I argued with you, but that's where it stopped. Your words. I saw through them. Standing in my castle, I am reminded of all that I lost because I had given in my compassion for Ingrid. I will not do the same for you. The last piece of the Dagger of Banishment is here, in my throne. He reached down to pull a compartment out from the bottom of his seat. From it, he takes out the last part of the dagger. Okay. Okay. With the 3 pieces of the blade, we will be able to construct the Dagger of Banishment. Now I'm confused. What does exactly that do? I push my feeling of pain down and push forward with my words. You said that you weren't banished during the Demon War. Your people fled. So why would you want to be banished now? That means a point of no return. It became very clear as centuries went on that Ingrid Honeyed Apollo was never coming, and as such I had given up any reason to return to this forsaken place. There is nothing here for me any longer. Don't you want your kingdom back? You must want the humans to pay. No, I never wanted revenge. I was simply reminiscing on the place I had been my most powerful. Had I not stepped out of my fortress and into human territory, I would never have lost my home, my power, my dignity, and my wing. And I wouldn't have gained these wretched tattoos. Tattoo? His finger traced the design on his face. Disgrace, that's what my brand says. I am known forever as the one who took away our green utopia. Now Demonkind dwells under the surface with nothing more than rocks and flames. I do want to be banished. It's the only way to sever the bond I have to you. I do not wish to be joined to any human, especially not one who reminds me so much of my failings. The hesitance in his demeanor is no longer there. Asmodeus has made up his mind. His hatred for humanity triumphs all. Asmodeus laid all 3 dagger pieces across his lap and waved his hand over them. I watched as the piece clicked into place to form the artifact we had been looking for. After you banish me, the dagger will remain yours to do with as you please. I have no worries, as you or any other humans won't be powerful enough to summon any more demons. He flips the dagger in his hand before sliding his finger down to the edge of the blade, drawing blood. I cannot sever the bond because I didn't create it. You're the one who needs to stab me directly in the heart. Finally, he stands up and the 2 of us are facing each other, only inch apart. He reached his arm out, handing me the dagger. That's it? Okay. Yes, and my misery. It's the least you can do to make up for the immeasurable pain that Ingrid has caused.
I'm nothing like Ingrid. I wanted to learn from you to become a better mage. I didn't want to take advantage of you.
To be precise, I actually kinda do that. at the start of this game? My tears are now like waterfall as I process everything I have heard. The woman I looked up for so long had been a wretched, toxic woman. Oh, who would have thought? The man she had hurt is standing in front of me, and there's nothing I can do to take his pain away. He is a demon, and I am a human. That's how it will always be. The two will never be able to be together. I don't have the willpower to fight for a future of togetherness that Asmodeus doesn't want. So even if I oppose, I cannot stop it. I take the dagger from Asmodeus' hand.
I'm sorry that you thought there was no other way.
Funny, I said the same thing to Ingrid before she maimed me. Okay, I plunge the sword into Asmodeus' heart. My hands shake as I hold the blade into his chest. I can't bring myself to push it any deeper. Perhaps I am the weak human that he thinks I am. Asmodeus wrapped his hands around mine. There's nothing warm about his touch. A painful reminder that our relationship was not what I had thought it could have been. Asmodeus pushed down to my hand, finishing the job. Neither of us say any words to each other, but there isn't much time to. Asmodeus begins to fight away in front of my very eyes, a small smile on his lips. He was happy to be rid of me, and thought this was our plan from the beginning. I can't help but feel empty inside. It's as if I failed him. I didn't show him that humans aren't all bad. I didn't prove to him that his ordeal with Ingrid wouldn't be the same interaction he had have with everyone. I don't blame him for the words he said. I think deep down, I know them to be true. Humans will never accept demonkind, and demonkind will never accept human. I drop to my knees and shut my eyes. There's a darkness that overtakes me, and when I finally have the courage to open my eyes, I'm back in the cathedral that I started in. Alone. Okay. Okay. I'm supposed to click. Banished ending unlocked. Well, I certainly didn't target to go to that ending. So yeah, a Forsaken Place, produced and written by Legend X Games, Bird and Sea Art by Ahwi, Goo Art by Jamie. Hey, I know Jamie Scribbles. Cats on Lillipad Studios, Red Chance, Cable and Randy Diaz, and Randy Prince, Alan Shahan. Okay. Demon King. There's a Demon King? I didn't know that. Ingrid by Brian Curry. Okay. And then blah blah blah. Okay. Nice. Oh yeah, oh my god. Well, whoopsie, my mistake. So I guess that's all for Second Place. It's been interesting so far to say. The voice acting is especially delightful. And the character is... how do you say? Yeah, one is a demon prince and the other is a stand-up comedy. So yeah, it's a good composition, I think. Chemistry. So that's all for Second Place. I guess I'll see you later then in my next video. Bye bye.